East Coast. From its winter in the ice bear's grip each spring, the East Coast wakes up. The Great Atlantic warms. Off Iceland the plash of a narwhal's unicorn horn in the spring sun sparks up a mist, a spreading pancake of hot gray air from the Delaware to the Colorado. Narrated by Skeptical Waves. Published Sunday, August 8, 2021 by Curtis Yarvin. From its winter in the ice bear's grip each spring, the East Coast wakes up. The Great Atlantic warms. Off Iceland the plash of a narwhal's unicorn horn in the spring sun sparks up a mist, a spreading pancake of hot gray air from the Delaware to the Colorado, fermenting everything soft it touches in you. The bugs, too, begin to breed. The outie will return its own thesis in late American entomology. The insect, who just hates to dry out, thrives on the icing of the vapor cake. The insect is the real king of the East. Once foolishly in Georgia we stopped to pee by the side of the highway, ticks vault up our legs like hopping rain. On the highways in our year of plague the state function of removing the larger roadkill has softened, and every shoulder is strewn with deer in every step of death, from barely sleeping to leather scraps, a passage supervised by the local vulture, whose wide circle is mastery of space, which rags of game blend in the end with endless strips of tire, as stripped from some vulcanized dragon who does not shed his skin but bursts it. These roads are arteries through this temperate jungle. They are flat and everything on them is flat. Around them everything is green and buggy where unfouled by man's unflagging capital. Even the road cuts reveal an old gray rock, tired as rotten cheese, ocean crushed, ready to return to the sun and the galaxy. The sense of universal decline is everywhere. These hot lands seem settled in their dotage. No traveler from time or space would think a living people had lived here once, a people that cared about itself, that could even defend itself, sacrifice for itself, and that cared not to look upon anything sordid, squalid, evil or ugly. And now? Anything on the highway is a 3D printed plastic copy of itself. Anything off the highway? Dear God, once we drive 5 miles off the highway to Russell, Kansas, home of Bob Dole, meaning to eat lunch. Russell was built by a living people, they laid their streets in numbered brick, then zombies ate them. At noon on a weekday there is no one on the street. There are no restaurants, in this plain of madness the road calls. I wonder what Senator Dole sees now. What pride these people once had. On the 4th we drove a 2-lane road in Iowa, and every corny little town shot lonely distant sparks at the sky, toasting the birth of a dead regime whose bloated scion now despises all Iowas, and every corny little town. Like the last civilization in these parts we will leave no more than mounds. What would anyone make from these malls? Even the old towns are easier to restore, cosmetic though such counterfeits be. If we match photos of past and present in one place, and our eyes decide that next to the past, the present is but ruin, what number could argue otherwise? That the ruined, the squalid, the desolate might exceed any living human thing? In the West everything dead is frozen. The dry air is poisoning to rot itself. A ghost town can last generations as condos nearly ready to rent out. In the East every plant has water rights. Only stones can last. Every other kind of ruin is just another shape of dirt, and anything unmaintained a ruin. Death is always visible in the East, and in the East we see plenty of it. Perhaps the settlement of America, transatlantic and trans-Beringian invasions of old world primates, itself is beginning to fail. The tired Kraton, the great death continent, can shrug off these bipeds, like gulls off a dozy whale that starts and dives. A great plate sleeps 10,000 years. It even warms. Crocodile and hippo romp in Huron and Superior. Then, a coat of ice. All the roads and malls are scraped from the subsoil. Full snowball earth, Florida herself is ground to glacier dust. In Ice Station Zebra, shooting a reality show, a small breeding group survives, neither planet nor continent wants this. Either may prefer it to the alternative. The East Coast, more and more inimical to man, mocks the children of the men who thought they had tamed and settled it. They had, but while any fool or sybarite may live like God in France, in the East to have a land is to have to hold it. When the men who have a land are not strong enough to hold it, God takes it from them. Not just to give to other men, God's hand hefts any axe, bugs, plants, even a virus. The West is the America of death. To live in deserts is to live as Pluto, Lord of Death. The East is the test of America, which proved itself by inhabiting this frozen steamy place, and disproves itself by leaving that place uninhabitable by anything at all like itself.